In a village where the vast plains met the sky and ancient baobab trees whispered tales of the ancestors, there lived a woman named Nyala. She was the pride of the village, known for her beauty, wisdom, and kindness. Yet, despite all this, her heart carried a deep longing. Nyala wanted nothing more than to have a family and a child of her own. Every morning, as the first light of dawn touched the earth, Nyala would wake up and tend to the flowers in her small garden. The vibrant colors and fragrant scents brought her a sense of peace, but by nightfall, as she returned to her empty bed, that peace gave way to a profound loneliness. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing from her life. One morning, the weight of this loneliness became too much to bear. Nyala decided to visit Kalima, the village's wise woman. Kalima was known far and wide for her wisdom, and people from distant lands would seek her guidance. She lived in a small hut nestled under the shade of the oldest baobab trees, surrounded by ancient scrolls and healing herbs. When Nyala arrived at Kalima's hut, she poured out all her fears and sadness. Kalima listened carefully, her eyes filled with understanding. After a moment of silence, she said, "Nyala, your destiny is different from others. The child you will bear will become the future leader of this village. But to find this leader, you must embark on a journey. It will not be an easy path, but in the end, you will discover both yourself and your fate." Nyala was both surprised and excited by this prophecy. A newfound courage blossomed within her, and she decided to take on the journey to find her destiny. As she left Kalima's hut, a bold plan formed in her mind. She would meet with every eligible man in the village, hoping to find the one who was meant to father her child. Nyala spent her days in the village square, speaking with different men, getting to know them. This stirred up much curiosity and gossip among the villagers. Some admired her bravery, while others thought her actions were strange. But Nyala was determined, believing that this was the only way to find her true destiny. One day, while sitting in the village square, a young man named Mosi approached her. Mosi was known for his quiet nature and humility. Watching Nyala's bold quest from afar, he finally decided to speak to her. "Nyala," he began, "aren't you tired of this search? Maybe you shouldn't rush to find the right person." Nyala turned to him and replied, "This search is my destiny. Mosi, I feel it in my heart that I must follow this path. But with every step, I wonder if I'm on the right track." Mosi, impressed by her determination, said, "Perhaps this light in your heart is guiding you. Everything has its time. Maybe your time hasn't come yet." This conversation strengthened Nyala's resolve. She continued her quest, but now with more awareness. Every step, every encounter brought her a little closer to understanding her fate. But this journey also left a deep mark on her soul. One day, as Nyala sat in the shade of the oldest baobab tree, lost in thought, Kalima quietly approached her. "Nyala," Kalima began, "I can see that this search is wearing you down. I can feel the weight in your heart, but remember, this journey is necessary for you to meet your destiny. Every step brings you closer to the truth." Nyala, taking comfort in Kalima's words, asked, "But Kalima, where will this journey lead me? With every step, I feel more uncertainty." Kalima smiled gently and replied, "This uncertainty is part of your strength. With every step, you will discover a little more about yourself and your destiny. Be patient, Nyala. Your destiny is waiting for you." With these words, Nyala decided to continue her quest. Days turned into weeks as she spent time with the men of the village, getting to know them. But despite her efforts, she still hadn't found that special connection she was searching for. Each day began with new hope, only to end in solitude once again. Months passed, and soon Nyala's belly began to swell with the promise of new life. The village buzzed with excitement, knowing that the child she carried was a result of the prophecy. Every family claimed that the child's father was one of their own, and this caused great tension in the village. Despite the growing unrest, Nyala remained calm, her heart firmly believing in the prophecy. She held her newborn son, whom she named Kito, close to her, waiting for the revelation that would change the fate of her village. Kalima joined the village elders in a meeting and shared what the ancestors had revealed to her. "The ancestors have proposed a test," Kalima said. "This test will reveal not only Kito's father, but also the future leader of our village. The test required each potential father to undertake a journey to the sacred mountain and return with a moonstone. The man who successfully brought back the stone would be recognized as the village's leader." The test began, and the journey was filled with physical and spiritual challenges. The sacred mountain was a treacherous place, home to wild animals, dangerous paths, and spiritual trials that could break even the strongest of wills. Each man faced these trials, testing their strength and resolve. Jengo, a wise man known for his prayers and humility, was the first to find the moonstone. When he presented it to the elders, they declared him the leader of the village. But despite this declaration, Nyala's heart remained unsettled. She couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. One day, Nyala began to suspect that there was a conspiracy between Jengo and Kalima. Deep in her heart, she felt that the truth had not yet been revealed. This suspicion drove her to seek out the truth. When she discovered that Jengo and Kalima had made a secret pact, she knew she had to expose this deception to protect the peace of the village. Nyala proposed that the moonstone be tested again in a ritual that would reveal the true father. The village elders agreed, and this proposal sparked great interest among the villagers. Everyone was eager to see the outcome of this new test. The Truth River was one of the most sacred places in the village, and this ritual would determine the village's future. The next day, all the men of the village gathered at the banks of the Truth River. As the first light of morning reflected off the water, each man stepped forward, one by one, to dip their hands into the river and swear an oath to the ancestors. The river's waters changed color for those who spoke the truth, revealing their honesty. But many men failed, as the river did not accept their oaths. Finally, it was Jengo's turn. He stepped forward slowly, his eyes meeting Nyala's as he approached the river. In that brief glance, Nyala saw something, a hint of regret, perhaps even a silent plea for forgiveness. But as Jengo dipped his hand into the water, nothing happened. The river did not acknowledge his oath. This left the village in shock. Everyone began to question whether Jengo was truly the right person. Then, from the back of the crowd, a voice called out, "Wait, it was Kalima." The stone does not only respond to the hands that hold it, but also to the eyes that meet it. Kalima's words brought a deep silence over the village. Nyala looked at the stone, and as her gaze met it, the stone began to tremble and glow. In that moment, everyone understood that Jengo was not the true father. The stone's reaction shattered the silence, and Kalima's mad laughter filled the air. Nyala's heart sank as she realized the betrayal, a serpent that had snuck into the garden of trust. The revelation of this deception left the village deeply disappointed. Nyala stepped forward and cried out, "This is injustice. Kito is the future of this village, and his true father deserves to be known and honored for that responsibility." The village elders quickly convened to discuss this new revelation. Nyala's courage and determination had made a strong impression on them. She proposed that every man in the village come forward and declare the truth by the banks of the Truth River. The next day, at dawn, the entire village gathered by the river. As the first rays of light touched the water, each man stepped forward to swear his oath. But only the man who spoke the truth would see the river respond. Finally, It was Moses' turn. As he stepped forward, his eyes met Nyala's, and in that moment, there was a spark of something honesty, sincerity, perhaps even love. When Moses dipped his hand into the river, the water began to shimmer and glow with a golden light. The truth had been revealed. Moses was Kito's true father and the future leader of the village. The revelation brought peace and unity to the village. But Nyala knew that this was only the beginning. They had avoided a crisis and perhaps opened a new chapter in their history. But the real work lay ahead, raising Kito to be a great leader and guiding the village toward prosperity. Nyala and Moses, now united, began to shape the future of the village. Django and Kalima's deception had left deep scars, but the village had found its true leader in Moses. The elders stripped Django of his title and ordered him to serve the village in penance. Kalima was removed from her role as the village seer, and a new seer was chosen to take her place. As time passed, Kito grew, guided by Nyala and Moses, who raised him to become the village's future leader. The prophecies seemed to be coming true as the village flourished under their guidance. Nyala, Moses, and Kito stood on the brink of a promising new life, ready to face whatever challenges the future might hold. And so, with the wisdom of the ancestors and the light of truth to guide them, they walked together into the future, knowing that whatever lay ahead, they would face it as one.